I, 30F, am having an emotional affair, feeling so conflicted and like the absolute worst person in the world. 12 years have passed since my girlfriend and I first met. Despite the fact that he is 15 years my senior, he cautioned me early on that our relationship was probably not a smart choice since he was so much older and that I would miss out on a lot of opportunities if I didn't stay with him. He asked whether I wanted to marry and I said no, saying that all I wanted was to be settled down, which was accurate given that I had a traumatic upbringing filled with maltreatment and uncertainty. We were able to keep our relationship going, and he has really been the bright spot in my life. I'm head over heels in love with him. I owe him everything, and the prospect of hurting or losing him makes me sick to my stomach. In addition to being pleasant, diligent, and responsible, he is also humorous and intelligent, and the list goes on. We started with nothing and have now completed the construction of a beautiful home together. We have the finest of friendships amongst us. I love him, yet I'm dissatisfied with our relationship. I can't possibly hope to receive all I want from just one person. He is kind and sensitive, and he really cares about me, and this is my way of showing my appreciation for him. At the moment, I loathe myself completely. A lifeless bedroom. We've only had maybe 4 times a year for the past 4 years at the very least, is one of our relationship's challenges. Unlike him, who is a homebody who has little interest in traveling or trying new things, I'm adventurous and want to travel and experience new things. This was a huge source of worry for me at the outset, and it was something I brought up constantly with him. I could placate myself by engaging him in whatever nonsense I desired, but he'd soon tire of it and revert to his normal routine of just remaining at home. My reason for quitting arguing is because I love him and it's easier than the constant rejection of asking him if we want to do X, Y, Z and having him say no to every request. It's also important to me that he doesn't pretend to be someone he isn't. He is fiercely opposed to the idea. Forcing someone to do something he doesn't want to do is not a fair or reasonable situation. I managed to persuade myself that I didn't need friends, experiences, or excitement. What I had was plenty. Some years ago, I made a pact with myself that if he didn't want to go on these adventures with me, I would go on my own. For a while, it seemed to be effective. Because he does not want to go trekking or participate in hobbies, it does not rule out my participation. When I'm alone, though, I can't help but feel depressed and gloomy. I'm going hiking by myself. You are responsible for visiting local tourist attractions. My lack of participation in activities I actually want in life, such as travel or camping, as well as simple activities such as drinking at a bar or attending a concert, is due to my aversion to doing them alone. I'd rather spend my time with others. I have to go to weddings alone myself since he won't attend with me. I feel a sense of estrangement from him. Please understand that I am well aware that I am a jerk. I'm weeping as I write this, and nothing I say or do will justify my actions. This is a mess because of my actions. Everything. Ich befinde mich in therapy. I suffer from low self-esteem and self-worth, anxiety, depression, and childhood trauma, and I am a complete codependent. It is something on which I am currently working. It's a really tough task. I love the fact that I'm causing harm to others while attempting to find myself out. I established touch with another individual. It all started off quite simply. I'm a complete when it comes to social networking. It's a completely platonic relationship. This person and I had known each other for years, via school and other shared connections, and I just believed that we were beginning to become actual friends at this point. Because, as I previously said, I am lonely, this was a wonderful experience. It's gotten out of hand now, and I allowed it to happen because it felt good at the time. For the first time in many years, I have a strong sense of being desired. I'm experiencing feelings of being desired in ways I've never experienced before. Once again, low self-esteem is evident. He has a lot of nice things to say about me. I, too, have feelings for this man, and I like conversing with him on the phone, and I'm interested in him as well. I can't seem to get him out of my head. He's funny, bright, and outgoing, and he does a number of things that I'd want to do with him, and he's shown an interest in doing them with me. In the absence of any action or meeting in person, and in the absence of any transgression, we haven't done anything wrong. After a month, I realize that most of this is my imagination, that the grass is always greener on the other side, and that these are deep feelings that have developed over the course of the month. We're both romanticizing our respective partners. He wants to give me something I don't have, a sense of adventure, passion, and spontaneity, all of which I lack. He wants what I have, commitment, love, and having someone to come home to at the end of each day. I don't want to throw anything away, but what does the fact that I allowed this to happen in the first place say about myself and my relationship? We both confess to ourselves that we have feelings for one another. We have had relations with one another. There have been no photographs or anything, but it doesn't matter since I am aware that this may be worse than if I hadn't because I'm experiencing feelings. I'm going to do harm to him or my spouse or both, since I'm a selfish and venomous person on the surface. When the boundaries started to be breached, I convinced myself that it wasn't such a big deal after all. My spouse had an emotional affair with his ex-girlfriend right at the beginning of our relationship. Sure, I'm a jerk, and I'll take tat for tat. I rationalized it even further by stating that he is always on his phone, and that he will X out of whatever he is looking at if I go too close to him. Never, ever leave your phone unattended while you are using it. He's most certainly doing the exact same thing as you are. Even though I see that this is nonsensical, it doesn't matter since two wrongs don't create a right, and I don't have any proof to back up my claim either. I wish I discovered he was cheating on me sooner because it would have alleviated my guilt and given me the opportunity to be a jerk. I'm aware that I'm rambling. I'm completely at a loss on what to do. To obtain specialized help, make the following modifications to your document. What is the best way for me to figure out what it is that I genuinely want? I'm not sure how to separate it from my wish not to endanger either my marriage or the emotional affair, and I'm at a loss for words. I'm sick to my stomach simply thinking about how I'm going to end up ruining my husband's life. Everything that we'd fought so hard for is now gone forever. I'm not sure whether he'd be able to find someone else to date. I'm not sure whether I want anybody else or if I'm just captivated by the idea of having someone else in my life. I understand that no one else can make my decision for me. I'm completely stumped as to what questions I should be asking myself. The situation is made worse by the fact that my family will be arriving in town on Saturday and will be staying with us until the end of August. It's probably not the best time for me to end my relationship by being open and honest about how I'm feeling right now. I understand that no one is blaming my husband, but I think it is unjust to have done this in the first place and then put him in the position of having to pretend everything is okay or throwing me and my family out, which he may well do if the situation warrants it. As a result, I've notified the other guy that I can't continue in this manner. It is not a proper way to end a relationship if it is necessary, and it is not giving the relationship a fair chance to survive. If it becomes necessary to establish a new relationship with him, I have also advised him that doing so is not the best way to go about it, since ending a 12-year relationship and immediately starting a new one would be toxic as hell. He agreed and said that all he wants is for me to be happy and that he is delighted to have met someone with whom he can connect, even if it is just for a little period of time. But he's also made it clear that he wants to be with me and that he thinks I want to be with him as well. But I'm just terrified of what could happen because of the sunk cost fallacy. I'm not sure whether he's accurate in his assertion. I'm unable to divert my attention away from this situation for even a little moment. I can't seem to get him out of my head.